All right, hello everyone, and welcome back to the Zotac Cup Masters. It's the Asian Open Qualifier Finals, game number 2 of a best of 3 between Team Bazaar and Team High Ground. Bazaar have a one-game lead, but we'll see what High Ground can do in this second heated match. I'm Android, being joined for the second time by Baseskip. What's up, man?
Not much. Looking forward to this game. We got some interesting picks so far. High Ground opting for the first pick Warlock. They really, really wanted that. Well, not first pick, but their first pick. Um, and yeah, I think already a much better start for their overall draft than they had in the previous game.
Yeah, Sand King, I really like this choice. I think it's going to perform a little better than Nyx Assassin. A little bit harder to deal with, especially in lane. Should be able to take care of himself pretty easily. Bazaar, I mean, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. They still got the Slardar going their way. This time Rubik's going to be its partner. At least one of its partners. Do you think we're going to see the Lifestealer coming out, or is that for sure ban?
I think they'll probably get a free ban on it. But then they still have so many other heroes that they could put with the Slardar anyway, so I feel like there's a certain level of mind games here where High Ground will probably ban it, but Bazaar probably are already planning around that, and they're gonna pick something else. So maybe they'll go for a TA mid or something like that. I'm a little bit surprised not to see the Centaur. I thought Bazaar might go for Centaur as their second pick, but I guess they want to leave things open on the offlane, and he did get nerfed a decent amount recently, especially with at least with regards to the Aghanim Scepter, only being down at 40% damage reduction now. But I feel like that hero is really, really good against Warlock because they can ult, you can get Chaotic Offerings, but then Centaur just pops his ult, and everybody runs away and resets the fight and waits out the Fatal Bond's duration.
I'm a little sad to see the Invoker ban. I think Nana's Invoker is probably in my top 3 Invokers to watch in the world, but not going to get treated to that this morning, unfortunately.
SCA Invokers just push the hero so far. I think it's partially to do with the nature of SCA pubs, with people playing really individual Dota and split pushing a lot and getting pickoffs, and yeah, that all comes through when you watch really, really good SCA Invokers play. So I'm also disappointed that we're not going to see it. We will get that Lifestealer ban. We're going to get Alchemist removed as well. It's interesting how quickly Alchemist has come back in. It was just a few weeks ago, or like a week and a half ago, that I feel like people were all of a sudden complaining about Alchemist in pubs, and now he's everywhere after being dormant for the majority of the patch up until this point.
Yeah, I mean, there's not really much that changed. I mean, did he get any real direct buffs, or is it just that suddenly Alchemist is fun again?
I'm not sure. To my mind, I don't think he got any direct buffs. I think some of the heroes that Alchemist really doesn't like playing against kind of fell out of the meta somewhat, so I think that led to his resurgence. I feel like people have really stopped picking Timbersaw. We've really seen no Timbersaw for the last little bit. So I think it's more just that the way that the meta has shifted works pretty nicely for him, more than anything.
We got Nova.
Luna, huh?
I like this pick. I think it's pretty solid. I think High Ground, they'll have pretty decent lanes if they keep Luna with a buddy. Is there room here to go for like a Shadow Demon, or is that not even necessary anymore?
I don't know if they'll necessarily go for it. It's still okay, but not as good as it once was. And I think they could also leave the option here to have the Sand King be their position 4 instead of their offlaner. But they have a ridiculous amount of team fight at this point. They've got 2 really good sources of initiation. The Luna is really good with the Fatal Bonds as well. So yeah, that's the plan, at least for the time being. Team Bazaar don't really have any room left in their lineup to jam in something like a silencer unless they want to run it as a core. So it should be Team High Ground with the team fight advantage. But Bazaar, they pick up the Juggernaut, gives them tons of split push because right now they have very few ways to deal with a split pushing Juggernaut other than dropping a rock on him.
Legion Commander.
And yeah, that'll be the answer from Team High Ground, picking up the Legion Commander.
I really like that. I think the Legion on high ground is pretty self-sustainable. It is going to lock in Sand King as most likely that 4 position. So Legion holding her own there. I mean, who does Legion really
10
struggle against in
seconds
terms of safe lane
remaining.
matchup?
In terms of who's
5
going to be in the safe
seconds
lane
remaining.
from
Bazaar.
Team Bazaar. Uh, I feel like already this is not a great. It's not a great off lane for the Legion right now with the Slardar Rubik Jug. I think there's plenty of kill potential there, especially because they can just they have multiple disables. So even if you yeah, and none of them are really purgeable because they're all stuns. So maybe you can purge off the end of the slow from the Slardar on the crush, but that's kind of about it. And the
Damn.
one thing I worry about for Team High Ground's lineup now is that it's greedy. It's really greedy. They've got the Warlock and the Sand King
10
as their
seconds remaining.
supports, and that was the only reason that I hesitated to mention the Sand King as a
5
support
seconds
this game, because I
remaining.
feel like both of these heroes really want a lot of farm, and they really want to run a lot of pulls and to get a lot of experience
Radiant team
early on to really have an impact. So I feel like because of that, they're going to end up shoving the Warlock probably to position 5, and that's really going to slow his game down a lot, and that's going to give Team Bazaar a lot of room to get their farm and their split push
10
online
seconds
and not really lose
remaining.
any buildings, before Team High Ground are ready to
5
actually do anything.
seconds remaining.
Yeah, Tinker, another one of the huge SEA picks. I'm actually really surprised it got this far in. It's usually
Showtime.
banned out second round because it's so dangerous. And in the hands of Nana, it's going to be phenomenal. And that secures Juggernaut as the safe lane pick. High ground have one more choice just to kind of, get that information, use it to the best of their advantage, and come up with their mid laner. But it's, what do you do against a Tinker?
It's tough. He's one of the hardest heroes in the game to really lane against, and it's not like Team Bazaar are slackers when it comes to running ganks either. So if the Legion commander is scared enough to completely ditch the bottom lane and just leave the Juggernaut farming there, that means they'll have no information whatsoever on what the Slaughter and the Rubik are doing, and that makes it really easy for the Slaughter and the Rubik to rotate over towards mid lane and give whoever Team High Ground pick a really hard time. So not only is the hero pool already limited because you have to pick somebody that can somewhat lane against Tinker, which is a tough
10
matchup,
seconds
and they've got the ganking
remaining.
potential on top of that. So I don't know what they're going to pick. Maybe they'll go for something like
5 seconds
Puck. I feel like
remaining.
they've already got so much team fight, but they should have enough damage from the Luna
Hey,
and the Legion Commander. Yeah, we were just talking about
it's our
Beastmaster.
buddy. Okay, I like this
Good to see
choice.
him.
He's pretty easy
Yep.
to dip into the jungle if the offlane gets difficult, which it probably will if it's Warlock Luna going against you. Lots of Shadow Words, Lucent Beam spam, so I think Bazaar might be okay sacrificing
10
a strong
seconds
offlane for having a
remaining.
mid that is crushing it.
Yeah, and
5
the vision is going to be
seconds
so great this game as
remaining.
well for the Beastmaster. You potentially spot the Sand King in the back
Strong
lines looking to
spirit.
set something up. Same story for the Warlock. You've got multiple units for the Tinker to be able to TP onto. And High Ground going to wrap this up with a Storm Spirit, but their lineup is so greedy. It's so greedy. None of their heroes do anything in the early stages of the game. Like maybe Sand King can, if Sand King has the game of a lifetime and runs around and like gets 3 kills in the first 8 minutes or something like that, then sure, maybe they've got some kind of hope. But all of them want to farm the jungle. None of them want to do anything in the early stages, and I feel like that's Bazaar are going to be extremely comfortable to take all of that time and space in the early game, and then just pick them to pieces after that. Especially with the Beastmaster, running around and just dropping off
10
roars. I feel like
seconds
anyone gets roared on
remaining.
high ground and they're just dead. None of them are particularly tanky
5
either.
seconds remaining.
Yeah, this is pretty high risk, high reward. I mean, this is potentially Team Bazaar's victory. We are in game number 2 of a best of 3. Bazaar already 1 game up, so we'll see if this can be evened out, but it's already looking like a steep mountain to climb just from the draft.
Yeah, at the same time, they do still have amazing, amazing team fights. So if they get out of the early game relatively unscathed, and this greedy lineup doesn't get punished, then I think they could still do all right. I'm just worried that, that they're just gonna fall behind early and then just get picked to pieces the whole game long.
Can we talk about this mess of a dire courier? It looks like
What
Earth
is it?
Spirit and Tramp Protector had a terrible inbred child.
The couriers have to keep getting weirder and weirder, right? We've covered so much of the design space. Now we're all the way out on the fringes, and who knows what we're gonna find.
Like, it looked like it
Yeah.
could have been a great courier, and then they just threw particle effects at it till it died.
Hmm.
But, oh, alright.
What's your preferred courier?
I have a red Greevel.
Okay.
It's pretty standard stuff. I'm a courier snob. Alright, we got Jug Arcana on the Radiant side, so starting things out strong. Little pay to win going on, the taunts. I like it.
How many kills does he have? How many Omnislash kills already?
I really like this set.
13 Omnislash kills. There you go.
It's bits and pieces of a really fancy Jug set, but it looks nice. Anyway, starting
I'm
things
sure
out.
it's very expensive, right?
Yeah, that
it's
is
got all the.
one of the more expensive sets. I think, who is it? FY's Solid Gold Rubik is probably a little more expensive, but... Sand King already getting spotted out as there is the Hawk Vision, so... I mean, he's not being too sneaky here, and that's going to be a persistent problem all game. They spot him with a ward in his inventory, and now he no longer has a ward in his inventory, so... Not the most difficult to deduct what just happened there.
Yeah, his smoke rotation got scouted early on, and now he's getting his wards down really late, which is pretty concerning. It looks like he might have been expecting the Beastmaster to start off over in the jungle, but instead, yeah, Beastmaster's in the lane. They're coming with the Burrow Strike. Gonna be some damage, but I think very unlikely to be a kill. Deny? Oh, I thought he might deny the boar, but
No. I always hate the neutrals that they give it their all and they just die anyway. Like when there was that super strong Helm of the Dominator meta a couple weeks ago, it was just so tragic.
yeah, they're so valuable.
You send them into their
125.
deaths. You just make them eat Roshan hits over and over. It's so sad. Anyway, Kangaroo. I mean, he's having a tricky time here, but he's not going to bail out jungle just yet. Looks like he eventually will. He's got the Iron Talon queued up, so nothing too unusual here. Just some harass on the boars. I mean, he's got to be careful about how many last hits he gives away on those boars. They are pretty valuable at the start of the game, especially for such a greedy lineup like the Dire have.
Yeah. The Luna's been playing this lane pretty well, getting the equilibrium back under control. They got double range keep pushing in, so they'll be able to get the lane right back into the position that they want. And Beastmaster, knowing that, he's just going to head over to the jungle. So this is where Sand King has to keep the pressure up and keep trying to harass him as much as he can.
Mid
In
lane.
terms of the other lanes, how's things going?
Nana got within one hit of death as Storm Spirit just kind of chased him
Yeah.
down under tower, but there's a salve and that solves that problem as Tinker goes right back to last hitting. So gonna be a very violent mid lane depending on where the first rotations come out. Probably gonna be some bloodshed going on there. Legion Commander looks like she's going in, just pulling this wave off, trying to get the lane, you know, going her way. Nova knows what's going down, goes for the lift. Gonna be slamming her back, just a couple of right clicks, but she's not too bothered. Has the overwhelming odds if she needs a little move speed bump, but she's completely fine. Now mid lane, Slardar hanging around, potentially looking for a crush on the mid, but there is going to be many sixes ready to stop him, so they get the crush on the Storm Spear, but they're still in a little trouble. Slardar here actually bit off more than he can chew. He's running for his life, and First Blood will go the way of the Storm Spirit. Nana gonna take a little more aggression as everything gets back to normal there, canceling the clarity of the Sand King, but still a pretty hefty sacrifice there.
Alright, I said the Sand King had the weight of the world on his shoulders this game, but so far he's doing great. He's pressured the Beastmaster, he forced out the Shrine, he forced out the Slardar TP. He's now picked up that kill. Things looking good. Doing the best that he can, given the laning situation, with not really a whole lot of kill potential to be found, other than the SK rotations.
Well,
Oh.
he's gonna be punching it out with Slardar, just the old 1-2 slug, and he's fresh out of regen, so he may have to fully back off to, Rack's Shrine for this. Oh! No, he'll get a free trip back to Fountain.
Yep. Nice little kill there. Tinker has picked up it's pretty heavy on the nukes build now. 2 points in heat-seeking missile already, but
Yeah, definitely looking more towards that fighting build than the farming build. We'll see him pick up March of the Machines as you know, maybe a value point at level 5, but for now he's content just to keep lasering and missiling. It's a really good way to keep track of all these heroes that want to just be flying around the map.
Yeah, I think he knows as well that this laning matchup is pretty easy for him, so it's not really going to get punished too heavily by going for the the nukes build instead, because that's sort of the risk that you run when you go for it, is that you won't get the farm that you need immediately after getting your boots of travel. But so long as he has a rough idea of where the Sand King is, he really shouldn't be able to die at all, so shouldn't really get punished.
Sand King gets a little sneaky sneak, picks up that bounty rune in the jungle. Kangaroo, again, has just bailed out a lane. He's getting some good jungle farm for himself. 13-0 after a somewhat tricky lane start. Taking his place here is going to be Slardar, just trying to soak some levels, but you can see clearly having a difficult time here. Just one Lucent Beam from death, eating up a whole Shadow Word, and he's got one healing salve for himself, but he's got to be very careful at budgeting that.
Yeah, this lane is really not under control from the Dire side, though. Sea Cancer denies really hard here. Should be able to pull it back a little bit, but yeah, they did deliver some EXP to the Slardar there under the tower.
Bottom lane, we've got Ajit really far in, only level 5, so still no Omni Slash. There's going to be a rotation from the Sand King, but it's a little late. Not going to punish him while he's all the way under tower, and he's got a Rubik there to help him as well, so Juggernaut going to be free farming our last hit leader. Luna only able to pick up 30 while he's racked up 35 now, so a little bit of disparity coming in, and as we all know, a well-fed Juggernaut is terrifying. Legion Commander making the old wraparound. Ajit still waiting on that level 6, can't punish just yet. Go in, Juggernaut, he's got himself a spin, he's doing some serious damage, and I know Sand King doesn't have that Burrow Strike for 6 more seconds, but there's going to be the lift up. The Healing Ward comes out from the Jug, and he will be okay, so with a little bit of combination there with the Rubik, everyone's going to be just fine. Bottom lane, top lane, push in coming from the Luna, Fortify spent out, another Shadow Word onto the Slardar, and he's just got to bail. He can't get too deep into this lane.
Yeah, that was a really nice rotation from the Sand King. I was kind of expecting him to put down a ward somewhere here on the left side so that Legion Commander can get a little bit more information, because if the Legion I guess the Legion knows where the Rubik is a little bit better, she might be able to pressure the lane just a little bit more, but I guess she sees the Slardar up top most of the time anyway, so she can actually play pretty far forward and put some pressure on the Jug and get decent farm. So far, early game's actually gone okay. Warlock's picking up some levels up top. His pull hasn't been blocked. Banking just off the bounty. He's doing alright. Oh, he's in trouble.
Alright, your caster's curse is off the charts today, Baseskip.
Yeah, it really is. Really is.
Like, I've watched you cast before. It's not usually that crazy, but right as you mentioned Sand King being okay, he goes down mid lane. Storm Spirit zipping way in here, but the Crush will buy some time. They've got the blind from the laser. One more heat-seeking missiles, all it's going to take. Now Sand King moves in. He's got the Burrow Strike. They kill off the Tinker, but they will trade for the Storm Spirit. Now Burrow Strike, still 6 more seconds remaining. Afu opting to run his way all the way back to base.
Get him.
Oh, Crush off the mark. Now here he's going to be going. There's a Burrow Strike mix as well. They do have the Shrine if they need, but it looks like there's going to be a full stalemate, and everyone goes back to their respective sides of the map.
Alright, so who died first? It was the Tinker going down, so Storm maybe getting slightly the better of that trade.
Look at that Sandstorm dodge. Very nice play. Oop, top lane, they're going in. Luna's in a little bit of trouble, but Beastmaster just kind of blopped out his ult and doesn't really have a whole lot to back it up. He's flying solo right now. Meanwhile, Storm Spirit dives under tower and kills off the Juggernaut. So Dire, they're starting to get active, and that's going to reflect in terms of net worth.
Yeah, that was, I think, a very unexpected rotation from the Juggernaut's perspective. He knows that the Storm Spirit had died, but definitely did not expect him to come knocking on the bottom lane, especially with no duel available for the Legion Commander. It looks like he just got blown up between the zip in and the overwhelming odds.
This is all under vision right now. They're just going to pop full Eclipse. Sea Cancer spares no expense at getting a quick pick, and well, now bottom lane, Legion Commander will lose her life, so all of a sudden it's just a 1-2 go, and this map gets very active. Storm Spirit triangulates his way back to his side of the map, and Radiant won't really find anything worthwhile to pick off there. Legion respawning right about now, but this Luna is starting to be a real issue. Top of the net worth chart, completely uncontested so far, unkilled, and so far no one can really stand up to her.
Yeah, this Luna is gonna be pretty scary, especially the potential that she brings for the Dire team just to be able to 5-man and take down buildings. Again, if they're ahead, I think their lineup is amazing because the Tinker deep push comes online, you know, after a little while. The Slaughter is doing pretty well in terms of his farm. Afu gonna get a pretty timely Blink Dagger here, but yeah, that 5-man potential is pretty crazy, and Warlock not too far away from his level 6 either, so that could even be another timing that they look to exploit. But
Smoke coming in. Kangaroo's ready with his ult. They don't see Storm Spirit TP to this shrine there. Could have been a neat pick to rotate on, but looks like they'll have to settle for a Sand King, and they'll get him, but definitely not as juicy as a Storm Spirit pick would have been.
no, it looks like they're pretty happy with that, though. Should be able to transition this somewhat into a push onto the tier 1 tower. I think the Legion Commander is kind of occupied right now. You could TP bot an overwhelming odds it, but it looks like instead they really want to get this kill on the Slaughter up top. It just has to be a run up and duel though, so let's see if that happens.
They're gonna try it. There we go. Like you called out, the mini stun from the Lucent Theme, and Legion Commander picks up her first set of damage, and that is a snowball that can be oh so dangerous when it starts rolling.
That was such a nice Lucent Beam timing, like perfectly preventing the crush from coming out and setting up for the duel. So there you go, Legion Commander. No. I think Legion Commander's kind of out of the woods at this point. She's got almost to level 7. Blink isn't super close, but it at least looks somewhat guaranteed at this point. So I was a little bit worried about this offlane Legion Commander, but it seems like it's gonna work out for the most part.
Yeah, I mean, Dire so far are getting away with one of the greedier lineups I've seen in a long time, and is that just them playing near flawlessly, or is that mistakes from the Radiant letting them get so much space?
I think a lot of it is that they picked their safe lane tri-lane worked out well enough that the Beastmaster was forced into the jungle, and the Slaughdar in that situation turns out to be a relatively greedy pick, so you know it gives them some space to work with. So, but I think they have been playing really well. Again, this I said during the draft, like, oh my God, Sand King has to win the game for them basically, and so far he's been doing just that.
Really great initiations now. They're fishing for a kill here. Tinker, obviously the ideal target. He's playing pretty far out here. They've got to be very careful. There is going to be a TP in, doing the old little bait. X-Nova going to be going in, but they drop the golems. Nana now in some trouble. He's wrapped around. He's in some unfriendly turf. Storm Spirit moves forward. They get the overcharge, but Shadow Word should finish the job. And my goodness, 2 heroes dead on the Radiant side. Dire are really shaping up.
Yeah, that was really nice.
That was without
And
the
that
Luna,
was even,
too.
yeah, they even had the Luna push the tier 1 tower down bottom, so had that rotation happening the entire time, and turned what was just going to be a tier 1 for tier 1 trade into picking up 2 additional kills, so really nice for them.
Yeah,
This Storm has actually been so active, but he's still really keeping up in terms of farm, which can be surprising. A lot of Storm Spirit players, you know, as soon as they start picking up their Soul Ring and Treads, they'll just spend the next 10 minutes in the jungle kind of grabbing their Bloodstone, and then they'll really get active. But the coordination from the Dire team has been really good so far, and he's been able to keep up the farm while still participating in these kills.
Up top, we've got a tense situation as Juggernaut has the Omni Slash, Legion Commander has the Duel. Meanwhile, mid lane, we got 3 heroes chasing down a Ruvik.
They don't see each other up top, actually. If you toggle the fog,
Oh, yeah.
they are just out of range of one another here.
This is, oh my gosh, they actually don't, so. Okay, no fights, but mid lane. Here we go. Dropping in. Storm Spirit goes forward. X-Nova going to be saved by a nice Primal Roar. Storm Spirit picked down. Meanwhile, there is going to be an Eclipse, but Sea Cancer going to be out of range to find the kill onto the Slaughdar. Sand King will go forward and will lose his life. Slaughdar still alive. Everyone on the Radiant is so low, but no one goes down. Wow.
Kangaroo is just in the right place at the right time.
Yeah, that Primal Roar
I
just
think
saved their asses.
Yeah, if not for that roar, I mean, I guess even if the roar didn't go off, like I feel like the Storm Spirit was probably in pretty deep, given his position. He's just gonna go in again. Yeah,
I mean, I guess Storm Spirit really wants to make it happen there, but Everyone on Radiant's going to react appropriately. They can go back. They've got Shrine up if they want to stock up on some mana. And it looks like that will be the play. So in terms of overall net worths, things are still really even. And I think we're going to have to wait till the couple of next 5-on-5 big boy smoke gank team fights till we see who's really ahead.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting. It's sort of the next big... Two big timings coming up for each team are actually Blink Dagger timings. You got a Blink Dagger not too far away for the Legion Commander, and then even closer for the Slardar. This next last hit is going to be his Blink Dagger picked up. So it'll be interesting to see how these next couple of fights go. Beastmaster going for a somewhat forgotten item here is picking up the Necrobook, but I think actually pretty solid this game. And if there's any hero that Necrobook is good on, it has to be Beastmaster.
Alright, Tinker going in, trying to do some work in the tier 1, but of course March of the Machine's not going to be too impactful there. So
what else is happening? Jug builds have really moved away from the Dominator, and everybody's just back to the Manta Star Rush now, which certainly don't mind. They want the Sand King here.
Good scan for the Radiant, realizing there's some action mid, so the Sand King is looking pretty free. They're going to go ahead and rotate in the Tinker onto the Hawk, as he can boots and travel there. Now Legion Commander moving forward, forcing back the rest of the Radiant. This is actually pretty dangerous. Luckily they get Nana away to safety. Now thinking about her own Blink Dagger, there they go, onto the Sand King. He's going to try to get himself forward and just plummets down. It's a good pick there from Kangaroo.
Yeah, just didn't know that the Slardar Blink Dagger was up. I think even without the Slardar Blink, he's probably pretty far up there, but he's just really keen to make something happen. He's probably looking at his teammates, and he knows that they're all running in, and that the Chaotic Offering is also off cooldown, so he's thinking that they're really lining up for a fight, but not really the case. Oh.
I missed that completely.
Oh, it was a really nice little play. They saw him coming up with the ward. It's actually just about to die, but got the Blink Crush and immediate Omnislash and just took him out before he could do anything.
Alright, so mid lane we're just going to have some missiles sprayed out as the Dire are pretty keen to keep their farm train going. Overall net worth is super close to 0 right here. We are about to see an even game, but in terms of scalability, I mean, who's looking stronger going into this mid-game chunk?
I think the Radiant team probably scale a little bit harder overall. The Storm Spirit still really needs his Bloodstone to really get his farm rolling, so until he gets that, he's going to sort of fall further and further behind. And I feel like the Tinker Ags is actually just so backbreaking this game if you're the Dire team. Like, sure, everybody on their team was probably going to buy BKBs anyway, but all 3 of their cores are 100% reliant on right-clicking to really do any damage whatsoever, you know, other than the Eclipse. So once that comes up, it's going to be really tough.
Is it just me, or is Luna's Shadow Word, like, showing up intermittently? That was very weird.
Yeah, well, it's a little bit strange. Oh my god, this is so... The Tinker plus Beastmaster, Nana is really pushing this all the way to the limit.
Oh, god.
Are they gonna find him?
She's eating her way through the trees. She won't find him.
That's space. That is so much space. Just, you know, everybody's just kind of standing around twiddling their thumbs.
He's just doing it again. There's no reason he can't do this all game. That's why we used to see the Beastmaster picked up so much with the Tinker.
Yeah, all they're missing is the Kanka. That's the final piece of the puzzle. But that hero is dead.
We saw a
You're not
Kanka in C Kappa not too long ago, so the SCA is seen giving it a little bit of respect as a position 4.
Okay. I think he's a super cool hero, and he was really good for a really long time, and then got some warranted nerfs, and is now super unpopular. Oh.
Let's see if they can Lucid Beam this in time. He's just gonna blink away. Warlock. Scaring me, boy. Oh my, okay.
Can he blink?
He's got mana here. He's just gonna go under the tier 3 and TP out. That is a Warlock ult down. There was no follow-up whatsoever. Legion could not TP quick enough for a duel. And up top, oh my goodness, is this actually happening? Nana. He just
Get
needs
him.
the heat-seeking missile, just needs vision, but no one's close enough. Beastmaster not there. Juggernaut, he's running in. They know he's still around. It's all a matter of just getting vision, and now Nana, he's gonna find him. They ping him out. He's zipping through the trees, but it's not gonna be enough here. He's soul ringing just to get a little bit more mana to his name, but in the end, he still goes out. So this Tinker just earns style points for the next millennium.
So 2 lessons there. That's why you always carry TP. And the second lesson is that's why you always click on enemy heroes to see if they have TP. Because the Rubik, as he was dying, must have just clicked on him and was like, this guy doesn't have TP. I'm just going to tell my team, and they'll just find him and kill him. So, there you go.
Whew, what a interesting turnaround here. I think all of a sudden Radiant put themselves in a very good position. You can see the spike on the net worth chart. That is just a straight up... yeah, it's pretty tricky here. I mean, how's the high ground defense coming out of the Dire?
That's pretty good. Storm Spirit, good high ground defense hero, Legion Commander with the overwhelming odds, pretty solid. The big issue is sort of somewhat initiation at the moment. The Jug can kind of chip and still be relatively safe. But yeah, they could hold on to the high ground for a while and maybe turn things around a little bit, start racking up some dual wins. I don't think this game is necessarily quite as grim as the previous one was, with sort of the same net worth discrepancy.
Yeah, they do have to be careful though. Legion Snowball has definitely slowed down. She got 2 duels in a row and then nothing. Now here they go. Easy pick. They commit the Primal Roar to this though. So they don't have that initiation tool for the rest of the fight, but with Tinker coming in, they may not even need it. Nice little pick there. Now Warlock, even though his ult was down, is going to be less of a nuisance in this fight. No healing Shadow Words coming up. No Fatal Bonds. Trying to think about potentially a jump here, but look how quickly this tower is being taken. All the Radiant heroes still sticking around. Eclipse is ready for the Luna, but it's just too risky to go forward. They're going to have to sacrifice a tier 2. Jug goes in, gets greedy for a siege creep, but will not be punished.
Yeah, I think it's back on the Sand King now. He won his team the early game, or he got them through the early game, and now he's got his Blink Dagger, and he's going to have to make some big plays. Almost has the level 12 as well, so some more epicenter damage coming out before too long, and they've got the Bloodstone on the Storm Spirit, so there's a whole bunch of ingredients here for them to make some kind of a comeback. We'll just have to see if they can make it all work.
Dire, they're going in aggressively here. They want to get this Tinker, but once again, get beamed, bro. That is so unfortunate.
Yeah, at least he's got his Bloodstone. He's got the mana regen. He can stick around here, but this is sort of a bait. It's a lot of bait actually, but they're not gonna fall for it. At least so far. They could fight around their shrine potentially, but the Hawk is gonna scout them out. Oh, it may have scouted that smoke.
It certainly did. They know what's going down here, so everyone huddling pretty tightly. Slardar gonna lead the charge. Meanwhile, Jug and Tinker just doing carry things, having a cool kids meeting in the mid lane. Now Dire, they're still chasing him down, but Radiant doing a really good job just keeping him herded. Now a Blink initiation could be pretty good here onto the Slardar. We'll see what's going to be happening as Beastmaster's going to be eating it. Immediate Golems drop down, wasting no time, but the laser bouncing around as Tinker already has an Aghanim. There's a dual victory by the Beastmaster. They get vision on the Sand King, they blow him up. Now ult from the Luna will result in a double kill. Storm Spirit somehow still alive. 2 heroes on the Radiant going to be running under their shrine. Stocking up on some more juicy mana. Slardar looking for another Blink initiation onto Sea Cancer. And Ajit does still have the Manta if he needs to go and get himself in there doing the damage. There we go. They got him. They got the crush, and that's just going to be a wicked 6 streak now out to the Juggernaut. Storm Spirit hops back into this, but that is so risky, playing a dangerous game with his hard-earned Bloodstone charge.
That was rough. The Tinker Ags coming up just before that fight. I don't think it would have really gone that well even without the Tinker Ags, but yeah, they just couldn't quite find an initiation before the time that the Radiant had managed to back up. And a big part of that is that they scouted the smoke, right? Beastmaster on the ball with having the Hawk in position, and means that they were able to prepare well in advance for that team fight.
Yeah, after that, things are definitely looking up. Net worth about 7,500 for our Radiant squad, and similar story in terms of XP, and of course now with talent trees being a thing, it is just so vital to keep your experience going. And well, in terms of who's going to be level what, we've got a couple level 20s in the horizon, but Storm Spirit hasn't even ticked over his level 15 yet.
Yeah, poor Storm has just really struggled to find any space to farm on the map. I think he's spending a lot of time being forced to push out lanes, but even when he pushes out lanes, he has to be really safe about it, just because the Beastmaster or the Slardar could be around any corner, and I think either disable landing or kills him.
They're going in. They will get a nice duel here onto the Tinker. They're buying so much time. Legion still does get the kill eventually. Gets killed immediately after, but hey, damage is damage. Storm Spirit goes, kills himself in the woods, as he doesn't want to face the wrath of Ajit, this ultra farm juggernaut, now just cruising at the top of the net worth chart with a full Mjolnir.
This is looking like a pretty free tier 2, but there is some slow pushing going on in the other lanes while the Tinker's down. I think that was... I hate to say it, but I think that was almost worth it, trading 2 for 1 for the Tinker. At least gets them a little bit of position on the map, and it'll waste a little bit more time on the Aegis as well, which they are just about to lose, actually.
Oh, they have to leave this tier 2, so tantalizingly low. The Radiant still get it, though. CG MVP. Whew. Luna was not quick enough on that deny.
Cardi is a friend to all, that's for sure.
Alright, so Dire, obviously now at a pretty sizable disadvantage. How do they get this back? I mean, do they have to turtle and wait for high ground to come to them, or can they still be ambitious and go for smoke ganks?
I think they really need 2 BKBs, and they need a gem. I think that is the recipe for success right now. They need the BKBs to do anything against the Tinker Aghanim Scepter, because otherwise they're just going to lose the fight to being blinded. And they really need the gem to be able to reclaim control over their side of the map, because if their rotations are being scouted, then Bazaar always know where they're safe to go and push. They know that they're all moving down towards bottom right now, so they know that they're really safe to pressure in over on top. But if they can at least make their side of the map nice and dark and be killing off the Hawks and killing off the wards, then they might have a little bit more room to work with, and the Radiant will have to be less aggressive with how far they push onto the Dire side.
Currently Dire see no Radiant. They've got wards up every which way, but just scouting out nothing here as the Radiant are sticking into the Dire jungle.
Yeah, it's very similar to the previous game. When Bazaar don't want to be caught, they just don't. They're running circles around high ground at the moment. But we will see that gem picked up. Warlock's gonna grab it, so there you go. That's one step. I think the Legion is getting somewhat close to a BKB. Yep, just the recipe to go right now, and Luna also farming towards hers. So they've still got some gas left in the tank. Still some opportunities in this game.
Yeah, it's so difficult, like you mentioned. Radiant just being super mobile. That Hawk TP combo is just so dirty. Tinker's getting so much out of that. Oh.
Yeah, and it's gonna go for Hex next, which is gonna be
oh god, they killed
really
the birds.
scary. They need to. That's what they need to. They need to get these Hawks off of their side of the map.
The Hawks did nothing wrong.
They're enemy troops.
Yeah.
No mercy.
Yeah, I guess all's fair in war, so there we go. Storm Spirit here. I mean, he's working with 9 Bloodstone charges. Obviously not as fun to work with as the 13 he had previously. He's going in for the Orchid. Sure would be nice to go and just lock down that Tinker, make sure he does nothing in these team fights. But again, getting on top of the Tinker is ambitious.
Yeah, even being able to find the... I think killing off the Slardar would be pretty worth it for him. Pretty easy target to go and get, no Ghost Scepter or anything like that. It looks like Slardar is going for Yules, however, so maybe anticipating the fact that the Storm Spirit might be hunting him in these fights, but you can't let the Slardar just get 3 or 4 stuns off in a fight. That's definitely a losing recipe. We'll see how this all ends up playing out. At least they've managed to, reclaim their side of the map back, but I'm gonna go for a smoke here. Luna is not actually going for a BKB, she's just rushing a butterfly. And they're heading up towards top.
Yeah, for her it's all about damage right now. There's got to be someone doing damage. Storm Spirit doing an alright job taking care of lockdown, but at least at this point in the game, Legion is not doing enough to be considered a super damagey core.
Yeah, they really have to hope that the Tinker makes some kind of positioning mistake, because they have to duel the Tinker. If they don't duel the Tinker, then he's just going to laser the Legion, and it's it's not going to be a very big issue for whoever actually gets dueled. Oh, they're getting wrapped around on here.
Yep,
The
Scan's gonna
scan
be
is
successful.
dead on the mark.
They were thinking about going, up near the shrine, but there they go. They found what they're looking for. Kangaroo goes in, they crush him up. They've still got the Primal Roar on hold. There is going to be the zip away into the trees, but that can only last so long. But it looks like he will be successful at TPing out. All of the Radiant immediately respond to this, getting out, farming up the other side of the jungle, and that's a lot of wasted time for the Radiant, but they should be able to push this lane in pretty far.
And the Legion is... It's just, she inexplicably canceled her TP, so just hoping that nobody finds her up in these trees right now. Might have given some thought to cutting the wave, but with TP scroll on cooldown, it's a pretty tough call to make.
Were these trees always bamboo? When you go into cinematic, they're bamboo, but when you look in not cinematic, they don't look like bamboo.
Which ones? I can't actually. Oh, there you are.
Anyway, Roshan goes down.
Anyway.
I got sidetracked. I was looking at Legion and cinematic, trying to capture the panic
right.
on her face.
Well, Roche dead.
I'll take your
Tier 3 is still up, so no shrine's going to be falling just yet. Legion, oh no.
Well, doesn't look so great for her as Juggernaut just goes godlike, being funneled that kill. We got Necros getting ready to do their thing. They die, but they'll be up in 45 more seconds, and it's looking like this is a high ground push. Adjit making his way up the stairs. They've got the golems ready, but Warlock is not even thinking about an Aghanim Scepter at this point in the game. He's just so poor. We talked about in draft, you go for your Warlock as a position 5, you pick that greedy draft, and this is the effect you're going to see, where Warlock really can't contribute nasty ults. No ags, no refreshers, just mana boots and literally nothing else.
Yeah, it's tough. At least they've got this Luna who is
Adjit.
pushing out a lot of DPS.
Adjit, so
Can we
much
get him?
trouble, the glaives!
Bounce, bounce, bounce. No.
Oh my, that was ridiculous. I thought one glaive bounce would have taken care of him, but he scoots himself to freedom. And Shrine's
he's
vulnerable. That tier 3 is just value town right now.
That was so tough for the Legion, trying to decide whether to run back or just wait for TP cooldown, because he knew that the creep wave was getting pushed in and was probably just thinking, okay, I need to be there with overwhelming odds to defend the high ground, so I gotta just make a run for it. But died with sort of 10 seconds to go on TP. So as it turns out, the right decision was to wait in the trees and TP, but just a very tough situation to be in.
Definitely. Our Luna, she's still at the top of the net worth chart. She's got her full butterfly now. She's enjoying the flutter, but is it enough to take this game back? Was that, the correct choice? Is that gonna be it? Is she big enough? Are her shoulders broad enough to hold up her whole team?
It's turned out that she hasn't really gotten punished for the butterfly, and it certainly farms much faster than the BKB would have, so I think it turned out to be the right decision. And she's actually going to get a pretty timely BKB anyway. And at that point, she might actually be able to win the teamfight all by herself with a full 10-second BKB, if she can just stand and auto-attack the whole fight long. And they've got plenty of lockdown for her to be able to do that, so there is still a way forward here, definitely, for high ground.
Legion, speaking of full BKBs, got one rocking for her, so we'll see if that's going to have any effect. So I feel like the play here is Legion just goes in and locks someone down, while Luna just sends glaives out the farm. And, Adjit really enjoying that full Mjolnir we talked about earlier, and taking a little bit of damage there. Sea Camps are going to be going under Shrine, get some juice back, and there's a nice Warlock ulti, but too bad he's immediately killed. Frobix steals it. Okay, so we got a Radiant Warlock Golem punching around. This is so much damage coming out. Sea Cancer running for his life as Adjit follows him up. MMD maybe looking for the turnaround here. Adjit gets low, but again, does have Aegis, so just coming back with full health, full mana. The Shrine's still down from when Luna activated it earlier, and Oh, nice Manta dodge on the crush. But I don't think it's enough to save the racks here. Brought forward, hexed up, the stolen eclipse. Rubik, calm down as the GG well played comes out. It will be Bizarre as your champions of the first Asia Open qualifiers for the Zotac Cup Masters.
High ground still moving forward, still going to be in the regional finals, so still have another opportunity to prove themselves there, but Bizarre looking really strong, like they have been for the last few months in SCA. This is definitely a team to watch out for.
Yeah, they're shaping up. Even the old WG Unity looking really strong. I mean, since the rebranding, though, I've seen them active in pretty much all SCA tournaments, and they're just slaying it. They're feeling really strong, really good teamwork, but I mean, you talked about the trends in SEA for it to be a more individual game and, everyone kind of rocks their own stuff, and these guys are some talented players.
Yeah, and the movement as a team has been, really on point as well. And the fact that they should have showed two different styles as well between the two different games. They had, sort of somewhat five-man-y team fight-oriented lineup in the first game, and then here in the second game, it's the enemy team that goes for that exact lineup, and they know exactly what their strategy is to be able to deal with it. So, definitely feels like they outdrafted their opponents to a certain extent in both Game 1 and Game 2. But that's a really big part of being a really good Dota team, is being comfortable with your drafts and knowing what you want to do at all times.
All right, so just to recap today, the bracket for the Zotac Cup Masters Asian Open Qualifier is filled in now completely. Number 1 place will be Team Bizarre, number 2, Team High Ground, number 3, Vikings Dota 2, and number 4, See You Again. So lots of great teams here, and again, just want to plug, this is a $100,000 LAN, and it's mostly by open qualifiers. There are only 2 invited teams in the whole thing, and opens are still free to qualify. I mean, everyone can sign up. If you've got a good Battle Cup stack going on, every region's still available. Opens are going on for the next couple of weeks, so just see which qualifier fits your schedule, and there's really no shame in signing up, even if you get knocked down round 1. What did you lose, man? You entered for a $100,000 tournament, so yeah, just go. I will put the link in chat so you guys can find it. And yeah. Baseskip, anything else to say? Thank you so much for hopping on.
No, it was great to cast. Thanks for having me. I guess if anybody wants to follow what I'm up to, I'm on Twitter and Twitch. Probably the best place to find me.
All right, so that's at Baseskip, BASSKIP. I'm a really good speller. All right, and I'm Android. So thank you again for watching the Moonduck coverage. Our channel's going to be active for the next couple of weeks, covering all of the regions of qualifiers. So thank you so much, Zotac, for giving us this chance. And again, hit that follow button if you want to stay updated and check it out for yourselves. I'll drop the link in chat. So again, everyone have a fantastic day, and I'll see you guys next time.